offering headlight restoration, pickup, delivery, and more with a motto of anything mean we can clean. Details at 870-273-5187. House of Details on Facebook and at klekfm.org.
Major key alert. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com. Brought to you by Get Schooled and the Ad Council.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with my special guest for the second segment. If I can get you all to scoot up a little closer to the table, we have Judge Marvin Gay, Cricket County Judge Marvin Day, and Mrs. Gina Gomez from the Centro Hispano. Good morning to you all. Oh, let me get all you. Okay, there we go. Good morning to you all.
Good morning.
All righty.
Buenos días.
All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into our conversation. Since it is an abbreviated show, we will be talking about the U.S. Census that's happening for 2020. And let's just start out talking about what the census is for those who, I don't know why, but who may not know.
You want me or you want me? Okay. I guess I'm the government guy today, so I'll wear that hat. So, basically when the founders of our country set it up, they established the census, and basically every 10 years everybody gets counted, and the real purpose for that count is to divide up the different categories of money to
I'm sorry, turn your mic. Yes.
different categories of money. I don't like this little sticker you got on my microphone.
I'm sorry. Well, we have to have y'all switch seats there.
She's got one on hers too. So, but anyway, the different categories of money from the federal government. So, for example, and it's all based on population. So, different things like for the county government, we get money that helps our 911 center based on the population, how many people are in our area. Hospitals, schools, they get their distribution of federal dollars based upon that population of people. And so, and it's so important to just be counted. It's really kind of been interesting. I've never been involved with one before this year, but it's really been fascinating because everybody thinks, like, for example, veterans. They talked about veterans are not a very well counted number, and veterans assume, well, gosh, they know I'm here. I get a check from them every month. Mm-hmm. Why do I need to have them count? Well, the census is a different part of the government than the VA, and so everybody needs to reach out and be counted. So it's really important.
All right, and so we know that there's a lot of moving parts. There are a lot of moving parts when it comes to the U.S. Census. There's people that actually have to go into the field and do the counting, and people who work in the office to process that paperwork and so forth and so on. And so let's talk about what are the job opportunities. Before we can get people counted, we've got to have people to actually do the counting. So let's talk about that.
Well, there are different opportunities and great, well-paid jobs, $17 per hour for enumerators.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, we are having the Census Mobile this week in Jonesboro. It's going to be tomorrow at the polling place on Jefferson. And then on Wednesday, it's going to be located at Arkansas State University. A lot of opportunities. We are short 500 people still in Craig County to recruit as enumerators, and it's a great opportunity for people that is looking for a part-time job.
Wait a minute, you're short 500 people?
Yes, there is a certain number that they need to hire to work with the census, and we are still short 500 people, so there is a need to recruit people, and we want our people from the area to get those jobs.
Yes, and then I want to let people know, because I have a little bit of experience, not working in the field, but you do get paid for your mileage and you get paid training. The testing is fairly simple, so please take advantage of this job opportunity. If you are in between jobs, or you feel like you need to take a break, you have some vacation time, whatever the case may be, take advantage of this opportunity to do something for your county, for your city, because again, the more people that are counted, as you said, the more money that could potentially come into our area to fund those necessary programs.
Yeah, that's right. That's another thing that's neat about these jobs is they are very flexible with your work hours. You know, so let's say you, let's say you work for the county or City Water and Light, and you get off work at 5 o'clock, and you say, hey, I want to go home and eat a little bite of supper, and then I'm going to go out and do some counting, at night. No problem. They'll work it out. Or if you want to work on the weekend, no problem. They say the hours are very flexible, and just like I say, they pay your mileage and $17 an hour. So I don't know. Gina and I may be picking up a little part-time job.
I'll be there tomorrow.
So if you see the judge knocking on your door, just answer.
And it's important also because it's easier if you see faces that are familiar to you. People from your community coming and knocking at your door. The response from people in every home is going to be easier when you know the person that is coming to your house.
Yes. And one thing I've learned, the information is collected from the census. It goes into a database, and it also helps. I had to do some research for Hot Springs for someone, and so you were able to see the races, the jobs, the people in high school. Like, there's a long list of information that's collected, and so this can be beneficial for companies that want to come to your area. They see, okay, this is what the population is, this is what the makeup is. You know, there's a lot of different information that goes into play. So, and those companies making a decision. So, if you want to see economic growth in your area, let's get counted.
That's right, exactly. And there's only 10 questions if I remember right.
10 questions.
Yes. They don't. They've really simplified it this year or this cycle. And one that's really important to the Hispanic population that we've talked about, maybe Gina wants to do that, is they don't ask you if you're a citizen or not, but everybody needs to be counted. Even if you're just here visiting with somebody on April 1st, that's the big day, is April 1st.
Okay.
If the way they describe it, if your head is on a pillow on April 1st here in Craighead County, you need to sign up and say you're here, so we get credit for that. For me, to simplify it for us is, all that federal money goes into a big pot.
Okay.
And if you don't want your share of that tax money back into your community, don't get counted. But if you want your money back, you need to stick your hand up and get counted and do that. So that's really important.
We definitely need everyone counted. And again, it's just very vital when it comes to these different programs that are needed. But if it's a medical advancement that's needed at the hospitals, again, the spectrum is so broad, and so it expands so far. So what's possible when we are counted properly, when the numbers, the individuals within each community are counted adequately.
Yes, and it's really important to emphasize that the information that you provide with the census is safe. There is not connection between immigration and census, because a lot of our people from the Hispanic community, they are afraid of responding to the census. We need to understand that it's important to have everyone counted, understand that it impacts all of us, our children, our families. If we are not counted, there are funds that will lose in our area that at the end are affecting our own families. So we need to have everyone counted, and that's why the Hispanic Center has been really active in promoting and encouraging people to participate in the census. The information is safe, and you won't have any problems for filling out the census forms. Also, there are different places like the Jonesboro Public Library, the Hispanic Center, that will provide assistance if you need. This year, the census is going to be online. If that's the way that you decide that you want to fill it out, you can do it in paper also. But if you need access to a computer or internet, you can come to the public library, as I mentioned, the Hispanic Center. Also, the college population is one of the hardest to count populations. So Arkansas State University is also encouraging the students to be active, and also supporting others and encouraging people to participate actively in the census.
Okay. I want to give everybody a website. Go to 2020census.gov, and you can find all kinds of information. I clicked on the tab that says Shape Your Future, and it talks about how your community can be, how your community can benefit. And it also talked about when I can respond. And so be looking for those invitations between March 12th through the 20th. And again, as Ms. Gina mentioned, you may receive your invitation and respond by online, by phone, or by mail. It says your response matters. Health clinics, fire departments, schools, even roads and highways. The census can shape many different aspects of your community. So again, this is not strictly about redirecting funds or rediverting funds, but just making sure every citizen is able to potentially get what they need to help better their communities. We always talk about our roads here. We always talk about what a struggle it is sometimes to get money from Little Rock or wherever the government. If they knew how many people here, what the conditions were like, how many people actually travel our roads, that might help us, help our case a little bit. Mm-hmm. And so fire departments, we've heard the talk from the Jonesboro Fire Department. They need another station. They need more workers. And so if our numbers of community members, or if our population doesn't show we need more, then how can they really fight for more? So those are just a few things that matter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And going back to there's certain communities that are they call hard to count. They look at the previous census and they look at areas where they know they didn't get everybody counted. Like I mentioned, veterans is one. Gina mentioned the Hispanic population is another one, but also North Jonesboro is. If you look at their maps, North Jonesboro has traditionally not stood up and raised their hand and said, "I'm here," and so it's really, really important for North Jonesboro to say, "I'm here and my, I want my money back." And, so it really is big for them. One other thing that questions that we've got, and you probably saw this when you worked for the census years ago. It's completely private. They will they'll never know, your name. I think what they say it's like 72 years or something like that. Before, so genealogists, they love to see the census data come out.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it's 72 years from now before it'll come out. But it's completely private. So all that data is just looked at in mass, but they don't know, for what you put down on that sheet. It will never come out. It's actually a felony.
Yes.
If anybody in the government were to release that information. So they keep it very, very private, very separate from anything else going on.
And on a local level, from my experience, when the numerators come out, they have these sealed envelopes. Once they collect your information, they pop it in an envelope and seal it. And it has a special sealing on it that if the label was, it indicates if the label was broken, if someone tried to open it, so that makes it invalid. So there are protection measures in place, again, to keep your information safe. As you mentioned, information goes to another location and it's counted. Now, as far as your address, the address again is used for location and mapping purposes. So we want to make sure that all addresses are on the map, homes are recognized. Again, it trickles back down to business coming in, new developments coming in. Like, there's a variety of things this information is used for. It's not to locate you and target you in any kind of specific way. It's to benefit the community as a whole. I want to ask you, Judge Marvin, since you are hands-on with the county level out in some of the outskirts of Craig County, why is it so important for individuals to get involved in the census on the county level as well? Is it hard, or has it been a challenge to count some of the rural area individuals? It's really interesting looking at the map and the statistical part of it.
A lot of those rural areas, it just sometimes they won't count. They don't have, in this case, the first go around, they're trying to encourage people to do it online. So there's a lot of people out in the county that don't have access to broadband.
Okay.
So that could be an issue. You might be able to do it through your smartphone, which would be great. But a lot of times people don't have a smartphone; they can't afford it, and So there's just a lot of different pieces where folks need to, recognize and see what's going on, that they need to be counted.
Okay.
And, the first thing they'll see in the mail, and it comes out, do you remember, Gina?
March the 12th.
March
or
12th.
March the 12th.
Yep,
yes.
they're going to see a little card come in the mail and basically say, hey, get yourself counted. And the easiest way, if you don't want to see Judge Marvin Day knocking on your door to fill out your information,
You better do it.
if you'll take that card and get online, even if you have to go to the public library or come by the courthouse, we'll help you out. And but if you don't want this little ugly mug coming to see you, once you get that card, just go on and sign up. Just get on there. You just like everybody else, you forget, you get busy. You get that card, just jump in there and do it right then. Get it done that day, and you don't have any more problems. So.
And this is a way to get the younger people involved, the younger generation. When they see you doing yours, I don't know if you want to call it a civic duty, but in essence it kind of is, just like voting. So get the children involved and let them know why this is important, because this would benefit them when it comes time. Okay, let's just go back to the genealogy aspect. Looking at who lived where and did what in whatever, what town and what time frame. So this will help them in their research and studies, in future generations. So I know this seems kind of whimsical. I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but it's important. That's what I'm going to say. It's important to get counted. The census is very important.
Yeah. I'd seen a statistic back last fall, so I'm not going to get my numbers exactly right, but I'm close. But if everybody doesn't get counted like what happened in Arkansas last time, I want to say we were at 80%, 75-80% is what they estimate Arkansas was, and that undercounted.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy how low. But that cost Arkansas, it was like $350 million or $500 million. It was a ton of money that we didn't get just because people don't stick their hand up and say, I'm here.
And, this is one thing we hear, it's election season, so we have the state representatives and senators come in, the candidates rather, and they talk about how Arkansas could use more money for different programs, and insurance seems to be the biggest thing, Medicaid and all that. So if we are not counted, the federal government won't feel that we need those extra funds to, pay for those programs.
Exactly. And that's what I say. It's, nobody likes taxes. I can't say that enough. Nobody likes them. Nobody likes them. But, there are certain projects that we feel happy to pay our fair share for. But that's if we can just get back what we, should be ours in the first place.
Yes.
And this is one way to do it by covering that. Another group, I just remember that children. A lot of kids don't get counted.
0 to 5 is one of the
young
hard to count
children.
populations.
They are really a tough group. So encouraging folks to make sure the little ones are counted.
Okay.
Because they count too. That 5-year-old will be 15 in 10 years before the next census, and what's going on in their schools and that sort of thing. We want to get their money too.
That's also
right.
what people need to think. That is the impact of getting counted or not is not just for 1 year. It's for 10 years.
10
so
years.
the numbers are not going to change for 10 years. So if you don't count your baby, well, the funding that you are not receiving or the area is not receiving will affect the school where that child is going to attend.
Wow.
And now that you mention also that we have the Hispanic population is one of the populations that is growing the most around the state.
Okay.
But with the political climate that we have going on right now, we understand that it's going to be really hard to count our people.
Okay.
That's why we really need to encourage our community to get counted.
Okay.
And other minorities also that we have in the state that have been growing. The Marshallese community is another community that has not been counted and is growing around the state, not just in the Northwest, but also here in the Northeast Arkansas. So we are focusing on those groups and making sure that they get counted.
Okay. All right. So, get first before we can get the county started, we got to get people to get the jobs. So I'm looking at the website. Again, it's 2020 census.gov, and there are different links on the home page to click on for more information. But this is under the, why apply. And so competitive wages, earn extra income. Again, there's different pay for whether you work in the office or whether you work in the field. So apply for it all and see what you get. It says authorized expenses such as mileage are reimbursed for employees doing field work. Support your community. Census results are used to determine your representation in Congress, and they help inform how billions of dollars are distributed for hospitals, schools, roads, and more. So, and then it fits your schedule, temporary positions and flexible positions. But we're going to take a quick break and come back and wrap up and tell you where you can apply and some other information about the U.S. Census happening right here in Jonesboro. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these announcements.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. Money issues have long been cited as the most common characteristic of failed marriages and other relationships. But it does not have to be that way. Black Enterprise Senior Personal Finance Editor Stacey Tisdale offers the following advice for couples who want to overcome and avoid differences when it comes to managing their money. Set long and short-term goals as a couple. Stay connected to your goals by having a monthly money date. Attach a positive activity to it, like dinner, and be sure to talk about your goals and dreams, not just your problems. Figure out how to build on each other's strengths. Note, do not have this meeting at the beginning or end of the month, as things tend to be tense near bill paying time. I'm out of time, but tune in for Money Matters tomorrow for more tips to keep you and your mate from being divided over money issues. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. For information on the right seat for your child, visit safercar.gov/the right seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. A public service announcement brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
KLEK is a nonprofit community radio station and has to rely on the support of listeners like you to continue to give a voice to the community. For the cost of a meal for two, just $20 a month would go a long way to ensure you will get the music and information you need. Please take a moment and fund your support to KLEK. Every donation will help us continue this radio station, giving local people a voice on the airwaves. Our goal is to get 100 new donors. Please consider donating. No donation is too small. Learn more at klekfm.org. This portion of KLEK programming can be made possible by your business. Your support will help in educating, entertaining, and empowering the community by supporting local talent, serving the community you love, and providing information on issues you care about from a different perspective. Call 870-203-9951 or visit klekfm.org to learn how we can help connect you more with the community.
KLEK thanks Charles and Candace Mabry and the staff of Mabry Smokehouse for their support of KLEK and dedication to the Jonesboro community. Mabry's offers Texas-style barbecue, beef brisket, pulled pork, ribs, rib tips, chicken wings, smoked sausage, barbecue fries and nachos, sides, and desserts. Located 1504 Red Wolf Boulevard, Jonesboro. Open 11 to 8 Tuesday through Thursday, Friday and Saturday. More info, Mabry Smokehouse on Facebook. KLEK 102.5 FM salutes small businesses. Small businesses promote local character and success, keeping money in the local economy, local jobs, entrepreneurship, community well-being, and so much more. Contact us today to learn more on how your small business could be featured on KLEK for as little as $25 per month.
Oh, hi. Right now, I'm getting a remarkably heartfelt bear hug from Smokey Bear. Thanks, big guy. Now, if you could let me down. See, I made sure there were no low-hanging branches when I set up my campfire. And before we left, I drowned out my campfire, stirred it, drowned it out again, then made sure it was cold. Visit SmokeyBear.com to learn tips to prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Looking for uncommon talent? Meet the Grads of Life. They're not the typical candidates you're used to, but they're exactly who your company needs. An ideal fit for entry-level positions, internships, and even mentorships. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn more. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with my special guest, Judge Marvin Day, and Mrs. Gina Gomez from the El Centro Craighead County Judge. So I want to make sure to make that distinction. All right, so we have a question before we get back into our discussion. This comes from Mr. Derek Coleman. The president was trying to infuse a question in the census. Do you or have you supported that question? And I guess it's a question on the census, and I think it's concerning citizenship.
Yeah, that's right. That question is not on the census this time.
Okay.
I think the Supreme Court ruled on it, or
yes,
somebody
it was
said
not included.
that they can't do that. So,
alrighty. All right.
So that issue is off the table.
All right, so we want to make sure everyone gets counted. So those of you who may be worried about citizenship questions or if this is going to affect you in any way, it's not. So no worries. This is strictly for, as we stated earlier, for purposes of being counted so that funds, mainly funds, can be redirected to our area to make improvements in our roads, schools, medical facilities, fire departments, and everything in between. We want to make sure our communities are thriving in the areas that they need, and the money that we need is coming back to us. I mean, you pay your taxes, so why not get your money back? Like you said, money back. Like that. What's that commercial that we don't? It's a commercial, and everybody's like, "I want money. I want it now." Whatever. Yeah. All right. So we want to make sure to let everyone know, March 9th, there's a kickoff. So tell us about that kickoff.
Yes, we have the Jonesboro Local Complete Count Committee that we have been working on for about 4 or 5 months already, planning on this census work. And we are going to have the kickoff of the campaign with Mayor Perrin on March the 9th at 11 a.m. So everyone is invited. We have a really nice logo and marketing materials, videos that we have been working on and producing at this time. So that's what it is.
All right. So again, where is it going to be and what time?
At the Municipal Center, the Municipal Building, on March the 9th at 11 a.m.
11 a.m. So is it drop-in style, or people come at 11, they sit and watch the presentation?
No, they can just come, and it will be something. I mean, it's not really prepared, you know. It's just for everyone that wants to attend, everyone that understands the importance of the census and want to come and just help us in promoting.
All right, and then also let's talk about, for those that may have missed the beginning, there's a bus, kind of a jobs bus.
A mobile census mobile.
Yeah. So the census right here in Craighead County, they need 500 more people for where they are, what they need, and so they're going to have a jobs bus that's going to be on Jefferson Street, across the street from the courthouse annex tomorrow, from 9 to 1, and at ASU from 9 to 1 on Wednesday. So if you need a little part-time job, you want to make $17 an hour plus your mileage being paid.
Okay.
Come on and get you a little side hustle going and get you a job.
All right, and so I think, is the age requirement 18 and older?
Yeah, 18 and older.
Okay, so if there are any young people that are out of high school who didn't go right to college, or again have some extra time, need a little extra money, summer's coming up, you want to travel, whatever the case may be, come make some extra money.
They'll work you all you want, or just if you just want to work, a little bit, maybe 8, 10, 12 hours a week, they'll work that out. Or if you want to put in a bunch of hours, they'll let you do that too. So,
all right.
Come get your little job. Every little bit helps.
And the application process is not very hard. The testing is not very hard. I think the test is the same no matter what position you're applying for. So go online, apply, 2020 census.gov. There's a bunch of links to information. Even go out tomorrow. Or go out tomorrow and meet some people directly to get signed up. So we thank you all so much for joining us today. All right. And in this last minute, any shout outs, any, want to say hello to some people, or just any reminders what's happening on the county level? We've got a minute.
Well, let's see. Of course, as we know, early voting is going on right now today. I put a little post on my Facebook last week and just hey, look, people fought and died for you in this country and made a sacrifice that you can walk up and vote and let your voice be heard of the direction of our country. So as a citizen, other than being counted for the census, the next most important thing is go vote. Let the people hear where you want us to go in the future. And so that's it. I'll let Gina wrap hers up.
We got 20 seconds, Miss Gina.
Well, let's get counted. All of us matter, and necesitamos que todos se cuenten.
Alrighty, well, thank you so very much, and thank you everyone for checking in today. Ms. Sheila James, Mr. David Nunez, and Mr. Derek Coleman, thank you very much, and thank you everyone out there listening and watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, even though it's raining. We'll be okay. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of